Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses election rally in Jammu and Kashmir's Doda, gets rousing welcome, promises to build a safe and prosperous Jammu and Kashmir. In a major decision amidst Russia-Ukraine conflict, US-UK put off suggestions to use long-range missiles by Ukraine, keeps it open for talks with allies. Decision comes after Putin's warning to West against its use. Stranded NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore say they feel grateful for their extended stay in space despite difficulties. Ask for ballots to vote for November 5 presidential elections. And India celebrates Hindi Diwas today, marking 75th anniversary of adoption of Hindi as an official language of the country by the Constituent Assembly in 1949. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi conveys his best wishes on the occasion. First up, updates from the upcoming assembly polls in the Indian Union Territory, Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a rally in the Doda district on Saturday. Referring to the changing situation in the Union Territory in the recent years, the Prime Minister said that terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir is nearing its end. He also pointed to the changing scenario of stone pelting incidents, noting that the new Jammu Kashmir is being built from the stones that were earlier used to attack the police and army.
ये थी कि तब कांग्रेस सरकार के, केंद्र सरकार के गृह मंत्री तक लाल चौक जाने से डरते थे। साथियों, जम्मू कश्मीर में आतंकवाद अब अपनी अंतिम सांसें गिन रहा है। पिछले 10 साल में जम्मू कश्मीर में जो बदलाव आया है वो किसी सपने से कम नहीं है। जो पत्थर पहले पुलिस और फौज पर फेंकने के लिए उठते थे, उन पत्थरों से नया जम्मू कश्मीर बन रहा है।
Polling in the Union Territory is being held in 3 phases. 24 assembly constituencies will go to polls in the first phase on the 18th of September, while voting for the second phase will take place on 25th of September and for the third phase on 1st of October. All right, indeed, India's Tahir Nadeem Khan is joining us from J&K's Doda. Hi, Tahir. Just a while back, Prime Minister Modi addressed a rally there. He said a lot of things and also promised to build a safe and prosperous Jammu and Kashmir. Tahir, these assembly elections are significant. You know, as we know, they're happening after 10 years and first time after abrogation of Article 370. What all has Prime Minister Modi said and how is the response there, Tahir?
Siddharth, the response was tremendous because perhaps the largest attended rally in Jammu and Kashmir in recent times. 15,000 people came here. This is the report of the official report, say the 15,000. This was completely jam-packed stadium here, and the mood was really electrifying. And people were so enthusiastic. They were saying that after 42 years, the Prime Minister has visited in this district, and so are seeing this is a major development for the area. As far as elections are concerned, all the 8 contesting candidates of Chenab region were here on the podium. And he asked for the Prime Minister targeted 3 parties. He said So these are not the three parties, but three families which have ruled Jammu and Kashmir since decades at National Conference, PDP and Indian National Congress. We targeted them and said that people have to choose between these families or this Sankalp Patra, which is the paper of this Bharatiya Janata Party for this election.
Okay. And Tahir, how is the excitement, when it comes to youth and first-time voters there? You had a word with them? All right. It seems like that, all right, our correspondent has joined again. Tahir, I was asking that how's the enthusiasm there as far as the youth and first-time voters are concerned? Did you have a word there with them? How excited are the voters, first-time voters especially, and the youth? All right, it seems like that we are trying to reconnect with our correspondent Tahir Nadeem Khan. And meanwhile, the election campaign has also picked up pace for single-phase assembly polls in Haryana. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a public rally in the state today. The Bharatiya Janata Party has announced 40 star campaigners list for the polls, which includes Prime Minister Modi, Party President JP Nadda, Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah and Nitin Gadkari, among others. Indian National Congress has also released star campaigners list for the Legislative Assembly election of Haryana, which includes the names of 40 leaders. Congress National President Mallikarjun Kharge, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are the main names in the list. India's Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, met Swiss Foreign Minister Ignacio Cassis in Geneva. Both the leaders reviewed the close partnership between the two countries and explore avenues to enhance the bilateral relationship further. Dr. S. Jaishankar and Ignacio Cassis focused on taking forward the India-European Free Trade Association and Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement. They also exchanged views on Ukraine. This is the third and final leg of Dr. S. Jaishankar's three-nation visit to Saudi Arabia, Germany and Switzerland. And in Geneva, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar revealed that 75% of disengagement problems at the border with China have been sorted out, but talks are still going on. In a conversation with Ambassador Jean-David Levet at the Geneva Center for Security Policy on Thursday, the minister explained the complex relations between the two largest neighbors of the world, saying that violence at the border is a major impediment in development of overall bilateral relations.
Negotiations are going on. We made some progress. I would say roughly, you can say about 75% of the disengagement problems are sorted out. We still have some things to do. But there's a bigger issue that, if both of us have brought forces close up, and in that sense, there's the level of militarization of the border has increased. How does one deal with it? I think we have to deal with it. But in the meanwhile, after the clash, it has affected actually the entirety of the relationship, because you can't have violence on the border and then say the rest of the relationship is insulated from it.
Tributes continue to pour in for the veteran left leader and former Rajya Sabha MP and CPIM General Secretary late Sitaram Yechury, as his body has been kept at the party headquarters in New Delhi. Opposition leaders paid their floral tributes to Yechury at the party headquarters in New Delhi. Yechury passed away on September 12 at AIIMS Hospital after suffering from a respiratory tract infection. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted the citizens on the occasion of Hindi Diwas today. In a social media post on X, the Prime Minister congratulated all the citizens on the occasion. India's Home Minister Amit Shah launched the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of the commemoration of Hindi as official language on this day 75 years ago. On this occasion, the 4th Akhil Bharatiya Raj Bhasha Sammelan is being held in New Delhi. Home Minister Shah also launched the Diamond Jubilee special issue of Raj Bhasha Bharati magazine. The minister also launched a commemorative postage stamp and coin to make the Diamond Jubilee memorable. PM Modi has been constantly emphasizing on the development of Hindi and Indian languages and better coordination between them, keeping in view the intent of the Constitution and the Prime Minister's direction with the objective of promoting the use of Indian languages along with Hindi and establishing better coordination between them. The Ministry of Home Affairs Official Language Department had proposed to establish Bharatiya Bhasha Anubhag.
नई शिक्षा नीति में प्राथमिक शिक्षा पर बल देने का काम किया है और प्राथमिक शिक्षा अपनी भाषा में बच्चे की मातृभाषा में हो, ये बहुत जरूरी समझा गया है। मोदी जी ने दुनिया के बड़े से बड़े मंच पर विश्वास के साथ और गौरव के साथ पूरी दुनिया को हिंदी में संबोधित कर हिंदी की स्वीकार्यता को बढ़ाने का काम।
Today, the nation proudly celebrates Hindi Diwas, a day dedicated to honoring and promoting the Hindi language. While this occasion is observed with fervor in India, its impact is being felt across the globe as the day marks 75th year of its adoption as an official language of the country within 2 years of independence by the Constituent Assembly.
The significance of Hindi has transcended borders with recent events during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Moscow, Ukraine, Austria and Poland, highlighting the growing global embrace of the language. From international citizens speaking in Hindi to performing dance routines on Hindi songs, the spirit of Hindi is truly international. As India celebrates Hindi Diwas, the influence of the Hindi language is reaching beyond the country's borders. During Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visits to Ukraine, Austria and Poland, foreign citizens embraced Hindi in heartwarming displays of cultural exchange. In Ukraine, local citizens not only spoke in Hindi but also sang popular Hindi songs during the Prime Minister's visit, adding a unique flavor to the event. In Austria, the atmosphere was equally vibrant. And in Poland, a similar spirit was evident, with Hindi songs and speeches bringing together communities to honor the cultural ties between the two nations.
हम बहुत चाहते हैं कि सांस्कृतिक संबंध, राजनीतिक संबंध दृढ़ होते जाए और हमारे देशों के बीच मैत्रीपूर्ण संबंध बढ़ते जाए।
मुझे बहुत आशा है कि इस मुलाकात के बाद लोगों को ज़्यादातर लोगों को ये पता हो जाएगा कि वास्तव में यूक्रेन और भारत के बीच अच्छा रिश्ता बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। मुझे हिंदी बहुत पसंद है क्योंकि भारत एक दिलचस्प और बहुत सुंदर देश है। वंदे मातरम सुजलाम सुफलाम मालयज शीतलाम।
As Hindi Diwas shines a light on the importance of India's official language, the growing international participation in cultural events, especially during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's foreign visits, signals that Hindi is becoming a language of global goodwill. Whether through songs, speeches or performances, the love for Hindi continues to build bridges between cultures and nations. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
Indian Embassy in the Netherlands also celebrated Hindi Diwas 2024 with great fervor. A Hindi music competition was organized demonstrating the interest of the participants towards Hindi language. Whereas French Embassy in India also celebrated Hindi Diwas, as the new French spokesperson said that he looks forward to discovering the incredible India and connecting with the country to strengthen relations.
My name is Ulrich. I'm the new spokesperson and head of the press and communication department of the French Embassy in India. I look forward to this.
Extending their Hindi Diwas greetings, Israeli Embassy in India celebrated the day in a unique way using Hindi memes. Let's take a look at other stories making news today. 3 terrorists were killed on Saturday morning in an overnight encounter with security forces in India's Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla district. The terrorists were killed in a gunfight that started Friday night after a joint team of security forces cordoned off Chake Tapar village in North Kashmir's Kriri area. Junior doctors continued their protest in India's West Bengal amid rains, demanding justice for the trainee doctor who was allegedly raped and murdered. The West Bengal Junior Doctors Front has written a 4-page letter requesting the intervention of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Draupadi Murmu seeking justice. India's Defence Research and Development Organisation successfully conducted the first phase of field firing trials of Indian light tank Zorawar. The trials were conducted on Friday. During the field trials conducted in the desert terrain, the light tank demonstrated exceptional performance, efficiently meeting all the intended objectives. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. We tell you in detail on what is happening ahead of US presidential polls. Venezuela and Spain embroiled in a diplomatic spat. Stay tuned to know more. And Neeraj Chopra will be aiming to secure a big win on Saturday in Brussels for the Diamond League final.
United States is going into its 60th quadrennial presidential election. What are the implications of this election? What is the state of democracy in the United States? Can India and the United States work together?
What are the values? Do we still hold true the democratic values that we did when the Constitution was and our forefathers were drafting the Constitution? Are we evolving, right? And what does it mean to evolve?
The relationship between India and the United States, as you point out, is critical. And what is foundational to that relationship is the common democratic values and the value of a vote, a single vote in each country.
You're watching DD India Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer signals halt for the time being on suggestions allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles that can hit targets inside Russia after talks with US President Joe Biden in Washington. Both leaders met at the White House for discussions on how to deal with the emerging situation in the Russia-Ukraine conflict and how much flexibility can be given to Kiev on using the Western-supplied arms. The British Prime Minister indicated that he and Biden would now discuss the plan at the UN General Assembly in New York the week after next with a wider group of individuals. The talks took place in the backdrop of Russian President Vladimir Putin's warning to Western nations of grave consequences if Ukraine fired long-range missiles at Russia. Before the meeting, officials had said Starmer would press Biden to back his plan to send British Storm Shadow missiles to Ukraine.
I think if you look at both the Ukrainian situation and the Middle East, it is obvious that in the coming weeks and months there are really important potential developments, whatever timetables are going on in other countries, and that's why I wanted to have this opportunity to talk directly to the President and his invitation here about those decisions in the next few months, but to make sure that those decisions were, as it were, pitched in the wider strategic thinking that we share in relation to Ukraine and Middle East and Indo-Pacific.
Leadership in this front, the United States is committed to standing with you to help Ukraine as it defends against Russia's onslaught and aggression. Clear that Putin will not make it clear Putin will not prevail in this war, and the people of Ukraine will.
Whereas the White House called the threats made by Putin incredibly dangerous.
And this war can end. This war, the war that we're seeing in Ukraine, the aggression from Russia can end today. Can end today. Russia can move their troops out of Ukraine, and it can end. So that type of rhetoric is incredibly dangerous, but it's not new.
Let's now bring you some news from the hustle and bustle of campaigning for the US presidential polls. In Pennsylvania, a key swing state, Democratic nominee Kamala Harris on Friday made a lucrative offer that will go dear to the ears of millions of young people in the USA. She said she will cut college degree requirements for certain federal jobs if elected president. More than 62% of Americans aged 25 or older did not hold a bachelor's degree, according to data released by the US Census Bureau in early 2023. Americans without college degrees made up 3 out of 5 voters in 2020. Her announcement may prove to be a major counter-pledge in the face of Trump's economic pledges to woo voters.
So as president, I will get rid of the unnecessary degree requirements for federal jobs to increase jobs for folks without a 4-year degree, understanding that requiring a certain degree does not necessarily talk about one's skills. And I will challenge the private sector to do the same.
Harris has previously said she will aim to pass a middle-class tax cut, a pledge to ensure $50,000 tax deduction to start-up small businesses, while Trump has advocated for cutting taxes on overtime pay. Both candidates have supported eliminating taxes on tips. She also ridiculed former President Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, for his shallow debate performance.
Instead, it was the same old show. The same tired playbook we've heard for years, with no plan on how he would address the needs of the American people. Well, folks, it's time to turn the page. Turn the page.
And former US President and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump doubled down on Friday on his anti-migrant attacks despite facing criticism for amplifying a conspiracy theory targeting Haitian immigrants. Trump said that if elected president again, he would initiate large deportations from the Ohio city that has seen a recent influx of Haitian migrants whom he has baselessly accused of eating cats and dogs.
We will do large deportations from Springfield, Ohio. Large deportations. We're going to get these people out. We're bringing them back to Venezuela. You know, he told Biden he's not accepting anybody back. They moved all their criminals, not all of them, but the rest are moving in now. They emptied their jails in Venezuela, emptied their criminals, emptied the nests. They call them nests of bad people. They're all now in the United States, and they're now taking over cities. It's like an invasion from within. We're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country, and we're going to start with Springfield and Aurora.
Okay, and stranded NASA astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams said they feel grateful to spend more time in space despite difficulties. Despite being stranded in space, they did not forget their responsibility to democracy. Answering a question on voting for November 5 presidential election, Wilmore said he has sent down his request for a ballot as it is very important duty and NASA makes sure that they are able to cast their votes. Sunita agreed and said she is looking forward to be able to vote from space. It was their first public comments since the Boeing Starliner capsule that took them to the International Space Station in June returned to Earth last week. They were not carried along as the capsule developed many technical snags and posed risky for them to return. Wilmore and Williams will now return to Earth on a SpaceX vehicle in February next year.
I sent down my request for a ballot today, as a matter of fact, and they should get it to us in a couple of weeks. And absolutely, yes, it's a very important role that we all play as citizens is to be included in those elections, and NASA makes it very easy for us to do that. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Same here. You know, it's a very important duty that we have as citizens, and looking forward to being able to vote from space, which is pretty cool. You asked what we miss, right? Of course, you know, the things that we always miss, our families. I miss my 2 dogs. I miss my friends. But you know what? Like Butch said, there are so many people on earth that are sending us messages, and it makes you feel just right at home with everybody when we're able to have those conversations with our friends and family at home.
In sports, India's Neeraj Chopra will be aiming to secure a big win at the Diamond League final in Brussels on Saturday. Neeraj will be aiming to continue his fine run in Diamond League finals as he won the event in 2022 and finished second last year. He finished fourth in the overall javelin standings for the 2024 season after accumulating 14 points across two events. The 26-year-old Chopra secured second place in both the Doha leg in May and the Lausanne event in June. The Lausanne Diamond League saw Neeraj pull a rabbit out of the hat with a stunning throw of 89.49 meters to finish in the second spot. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 7 Lok Kalyan Marg residence has a new member, a calf named Deep Jyoti. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi informed that a calf was born to a cow with a unique mark of light on its forehead at his residence. The special calf has been named Deep Jyoti by Prime Minister Modi, symbolizing the radiance of a lamp. The Prime Minister also shared a video of himself spending time with the calf at his residence. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.